ultimately whatever you wish to do in your life. If you want to do anything successfully, you must have clarity, isn't it? How much clarity do you have is all there is, isn't it?
This channel is about gaining clarity and providing action plan. The way to gain clarity is by going through mindfulness and logical thinking to produce action plan. This is why it takes longer time, because I need to explain to you, I need to tell you why I choose this topic and what are the obscurities. After going through the logical thinking and the action plan, I need to wrap up, reiterate the point and make conclusion. Making you understand takes time. Therefore, bear with me and watch to the end. Watch this video to the end to find out. This is stage 1, mindfulness. The topic today is how to never get angry. Reflection can be done on the basis of logic and analysis. Today, I will demonstrate it with my personal experience. For your information, I never get angry nowadays. How do I get to this point? Let's talk about it. Like most people, I used to get angry easily. I remember in those days, life was miserable and stressful. No peace, no harmony. One day, I was so determined that I wanted to change my life condition. I wanted to live harmoniously and peacefully. But how? What should be my first step? Thank God that I had the wisdom to know that I cannot change the world. I cannot change others. I can only change myself. Yes, I need to fix myself. But how? What should be my first step? Stage 2 and stage 3. Logical thinking and action plan. See the logic and find out how it makes sense. I had decided to apply my magical logic, and therefore I started to analyze myself logically. Logically, I needed to figure out what triggered my anger. Am I right? This could be very complicated. If I went into the path of reasoning, I probably need to do a lot of research and studies in order to come to a conclusion or to find the answer. Instead, I had decided to take another route. I use another logic. I think of the anger as a switch. If I could dysfunction this switch, make it non-reactive, this will solve all the problems, because if there is a switch and I dysfunction it, the anger will no longer be triggered. Logically, it sounded right. Okay, I had figured out my first step. So what is the next step? Logically, if the anger is a switch, then I need to trace what are the wires connected to the switch, because all these wires are the explosion point. It could be more than one though. Let's recalling what had triggered my anger. Honestly, there were many. Let me bring up 4 as an examples. First, when people don't meet my expectation, I would be angry. Second, when people don't agree with me or don't take my advice, I would be angry. Third, when people don't walk the talk, I would be angry. Fourth, when my ego or pride is challenged, I would be upset. Yes, these 4 examples would cause me mad, upset, or angry. These were the 4 wires connected to the switch. I look at these 4 elements and ask myself, how do I deal with it? I look at them one by one and ask myself, could I let it all go? Every one of it. Sure, logically, I had to let it all go. But the question now is, how? I went into a journey of reflection to deal with myself, to fix myself. I searched through my mind, searched through my inner being with questions after questions. Let's deal with it one by one. Number 1, expectation. Why would I get angry when the outcome did not meet my expectation? What happened to me? What had gone wrong? Why would the expectation not being met? After searching through my mind and my inner being, I realized that the root cause was I did not know enough before I built the expectation, and I did not communicate enough to understand the reality, which means to say that my expectation was not realistic. They were not in line with the reality. I needed to acknowledge my mistake, and I needed to be honest to myself. In addition, I needed to embrace mistakes, embrace the reality. Instead of getting angry, I should embrace, accept, and let go. Second, when people do not take my advice or do not agree with me, I was angry. Why? What was I thinking? After searching through my mind and my inner being, I realized that the root cause was I interpreted it as people thought I was not good enough for them to take my advice or to agree with me. Why should I think so? I immediately saw that people should respect each other with different opinions and viewpoints. We should just agree to disagree. Let it go. Just accept that everyone is different and every human being deserve the right to their own opinions or viewpoint. They don't have to agree with me and they don't have to take my advice. We should just agree with each other, agree to disagree. Point number 3, when people don't walk their talk, I would be upset. When people don't mean what they say, I would be mad. When people don't live up to their commitment, I would be angry. Why? After searching through my mind and my inner being, I found out that the root cause was I wanted everyone to carry the same quality as I am. These were my core values. These were who I was and still am. It was completely not acceptable to me when people don't walk the talk, don't live up to their words, don't mean what they say, and don't live up to their commitment. Now, this is my challenge. If I don't get angry, what should I do? I realized that I could avoid that. Yes, I don't have to be angry with them. I should not lose my inner peace for them. I must see that everyone is different and they have the right to be who they are. I need to respect their rights. Yes, respect is the word. Respect is the word for human being. Fourth, when my ego or pride is challenged, I will be upset. This was easy because I am a Christian. God condemned pride and ego. I should condemn what God condemns. Moreover, the price to pay for it is too high, not worth it. I would rather to admit defeat and say sorry instead of fighting just to look good, to save my face, or to be recognized. Therefore, I had no problem to let it go. These were the 4 wires connected to the switch for anger. The logic is if I dysfunction these 4 elements, the wire that connected to the switch, I would never be angry because the switch to turn on the anger had been dysfunctioned. The switch was no longer working. Yes, I never get angry again since I had dysfunctioned that 4 wire connected to the switch of anger. Element number 1, when people don't meet my expectation, I dysfunction it by embracing and accepting the outcome and letting go all the disappointments. Element number 2, when people don't agree with me or don't take my advice, I dysfunction it by agreeing to disagree. Let it go, accepting that everyone is different. Everyone deserves the rights to their own opinions or viewpoints. Element number 3, when people don't walk their talk, I dysfunction it by simply respecting their rights. Every human being has their right to be who they are. Element number 4, when my pride or ego is challenged, I simply submit it to God. I condemn what God condemns. It sounded easy. In fact, it's not. In the hindsight and in reflection, I can see that I managed to do it because of 4 points. Number 1, I was at the point, enough is enough. I was adamantly determined to get rid of my anger. Number 2, I believe in God. It's very important to have a belief. Point number 3, in my core values, I believe in fairness, righteousness, and respect. Point number 4, I believe in logic. When I see the logic and it makes logical sense, I will submit to it. In conclusion, to wrap up my reflections, here is the point. There are many ways to get rid of anger. I use the logic and analysis way. My logic is very simple. I think there must be a press point to trigger my anger, and I call it a switch. Logically, this switch is the explosion point to the wire connected to it. The wire can be more than one. I gave 4 examples, 4 wires. I have to trace what those wires were. These 4 wires were my explosion point, the point that triggered my anger. You have to find your wires. Everyone is different. What can trigger my anger point might not be yours. After you have found your anger point, you have to deal with it in your own way. In my experience, how effective you can deal with your anger and all this wire, the triggering points, it depends on your inner condition. Are you determined enough? Are you at the point that you must get rid of the anger? What do you have to support your determination? What do you believe? What are your core values? All these play the most important part to the success of getting rid of anger. Think about it. We have gone through mindfulness and logical thinking to produce action plans. This is the way I show you how to gain clarity via reflection process mechanism. I am Alicia Tay, the certified professional coach and HRDF certified trainer. If you need extra help, either one-to-one or in a group, please visit my website, jjecorporatepro.com. I will continuously going through some topics to help you gain clarity via reflection process mechanism. I invite you to think about this. Is it more important for you to get motivated and know what to do but don't know how to do it? Or is it more important for you to truly understand how to do it? Certainly when you know how to do it, you know what to do it, right? Remember this. When you understand, you will be clear. When you are clear, you will believe firmly. When you believe firmly, you will be committed. And when you are committed, you will be passionate. Commitment and passions are the two key drivers for persistency, perseverance, determination, etc. Watch out for my next video, Reflection Time with Alicia Tay. If you find this video is helpful to you, please subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell because you will be notified when I upload a new video. Thanks for watching and see you in my next video.